Good day, everyone. For this video, we're going to perform the lab activity number 9 or the third activity under solenoid valves. So, let's start. So, click the solenoid valves module, then proceed to the activity number 3, which entitled single acting cylinder. Click play. So, let's proceed to the diagram here. So, by the way, this system is a pneumatic system. So, this diagram is divided into two parts. This one is a control circuit, and this one is a power circuit. In the control circuit, we have here this PB2 or push button number 2. Then R1 or relay 1, then solenoid this K1. So this solenoid K1 in the control circuit connected in this one here in the power circuit. So we explain it later. Then this R1 or normally closed connection or contact for this relay 1 or R1. Then this R1 is a normally open connection or contact for this R1 or relay 1. So what we're trying to do here, if we press this PB2 here, so it means that the current will now be able to flow through this R1 since this K1 is connected in parallel with our R1. The moment we press this PB2, this K1 will activate. So since K1 will activate, this portion here will activate. If this one will activate, this solenoid will move, and then it will allow the high pressure air to flow through this pipe. Then the high pressure will extend this pneumatic cylinder. And then if we're going to release this PB2, the solenoid K1 will deactivate. This one will be deactivate, and it will return to its original state with the help of spring return. Then the high pressure will not be able to flow through this solenoid, then through this pneumatic cylinder. Then the pneumatic cylinder will go back to the restract position. To sum up, if we press this PB2, the pneumatic cylinder will extend. Then if we're going to release this PB2, the pneumatic cylinder will go back to the restract position. So let's fire this first, then let's try to simulate this one so that we will able to see how it works in actual. So let's start wiring from 24 volts to the input of PB2. Positive to the input of PB2. Next, the output of PB2, connect it to the 13 of R1. Next, 14 of R1, connect it to the 0 volts or negative part of the power supply. 14 of R1, connect it to the 0 volts or negative part of our power supply. Then, we're done in the first rung. The second rung, the positive of K1, connect it to the output of PB2. By the way, this red wire is a positive of K1. Then the black wire is a negative of K1. So, the positive of K1 connected to the output of PB2. Then, the negative of K1 can be connected either 14 of R1 or 0 volts. But to make it easier for us, we can connect it to the 0 volts. So, negative of K1, connect it to the 0 volts. So, we are done in the second rung. In the third rung, 9 of R1 can be connected in the either input of PB2 or 24 volts. But to make it easier for us, we can connect it directly to the input of PB2. So, 9 of R1, connect it directly to the input of PB2. And next, 1 of R1, connect it to the input of PL1 or pilot lamp number 1. One of R1, to the input of PL1. Next, the output of PL1 can be connected either negative of K1, 14 of R1, or 0 volts, or negative part of our power supply. But to make it easier for us, we can connect it directly to the 0 volts or negative part of our power supply. So next, so the 9 of R1 we are already connected. So we only connected the 5 of R1. So the 5 of R1, connect it to the input of PL2 or pilot lamp number 2. 5 of R1, the input of PL2. Next, the output of PL2 can be connected either output of PL1, negative of K1, 14 of R1, or 0 volts. But to make it easier for us, we can connect it to the output of PL1. So we are done wiring. So we will click now the submit button. So pass means our connection correct. So if you press this pivot2, this solenoid valve will activate, hence the high pressure air from our compressor will be able to flow through this solenoid valve, then allowing it to flow to our pneumatic cylinder here. Hence, this pneumatic cylinder will extend. However, if you release this pivot2, it will deactivate this solenoid valve. Hence, the high pressure from the compressor will not be able to flow to through this pneumatic cylinder. Hence, the pneumatic cylinder will go back to the restart position. So, we'll click now the pivot2. So, as a result, the pneumatic cylinder will extend, and then if you hold this pivot2, so the compressor is still supplying high pressure air through this pneumatic cylinder. Then the PL2 is now turned on. If we're going to release this pivot2, the pneumatic cylinder will go back to the reset position. Then the PL2 is now turned off. Then the PL1 is now turned on. So that's it. Thank you for watching and God bless.